Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for some interesting news. The Springbok value has dropped, or rather they've dropped down with regards to other teams, which is very interesting. The top 10 most valuable rugby brands have been revealed, and the Springboks are quite far down, which is interesting, and very interesting to see what everybody has to say about the fact that the Springbok brand is so low. And I think currency obviously plays a very big role in that. And it's not necessarily always going to be success driven. Obviously, different unions are structured differently. So, for example, New Zealand are almost looking at sort of, privatizing certain part of or selling aspect of it. So, yeah, the terms of values of different brands are lots of different factors. But it's a very interesting article. So, before we sort of dive into it and talk about exactly who the top 10 is and what the rankings are, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so every year, Brand Finance, which is a valuation consultancy, puts 5,000 of the biggest brands to test and publishes plenty of reports. According to their report, they have done a rugby brand value report. And it says over here, the head of sports services, that national rugby brands are more than just teams. They are symbols of tradition and passion, driven by sponsorship, merchandising, passionate fans. The surge in brand value for many of the top teams, such as Ireland's rugby, 94% increase, showcase their power. Right, so in terms of determining the strength of a brand, they use metrics like marketing investment via social media, stakeholder equity, such as heritage, and business performance through revenues from sponsorship, merchandising, so on and so forth. Right, interesting enough, so New Zealand rank at number 1. And they have a score of 88.9 out of 100 in their rating over there. Apparently, their value is up 53% to a value of $282 million since the last Rugby World Cup in 2019. France has shot into third place in both categories, increasing their brand value by 84% up to $159 million, whilst England are in second place. They have not dropped, and their brand value is up by 71% up to $264 million. South Africa's back-to-back winning Rugby World Cup has seen them move to the sixth most valuable brand, or they're currently the sixth most brilliant brand, and fourth strongest. It's an increase. The brand value is increased by 44% to $117 million US, which is basically 1.9 a million rand. So lots and lots of millions of rands there. But interestingly enough, that we've only had a 44% brand value increase since 2019. When you look at the fact that France is at 84%, England 71%, Ireland is up 94% since the 2019 Rugby World Cup. So in terms of the rankings, these are how they rank in terms of the top 10 most valuable national rugby brands. Number 1, New Zealand. Number 2, England. Number 3, France. As mentioned, Ireland, 94% increase. 4th, Wales in 5th. South Africa 6th. Australia 7th. Scotland 8th. Japan 9th. Italy 10th. Argentina not in the top 10. Very, very interesting. It's an interesting metric, how much, sort of significance, what sort of significance it holds is debatable. For example, some people say this is pretty irrelevant and doesn't really matter. But it's interesting to see how, for example, Ireland's success has catapulted their commercial success as well. And at the end of the day, the more valuable a brand is, the more you can leverage sponsorships, big sponsorships, for example, merchandising, that whole thing. So you want to be at the top of this list. There's no doubt that the All Blacks have always been the biggest rugby brand in the world. And the Springboks, for me, should be, probably the second biggest brand in the world. They've got the World Cup winning heritage. They've got a nice brand in terms of the Springboks. They've got the green and gold. So it's so historic and famous that I think it's something we'd really like to grow. Obviously, I think the biggest factor for us is the rand. And the fact that all our sponsorships be rand-based, for example. We also, have a very interesting relationship with SuperSport, where the Springboks themselves don't invest as much into their own internal media, social media, for example, and that kind of thing, because they kind of leverage the SuperSport relationship with regards to that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What do you think of the list? And were you surprised? I'm quite surprised at Wales at number 5. I think that's quite interesting. And it's interesting that Australia don't make the top 10. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.